Hello, I'm Hal Ottaway with the Wichita Postcard Club, and it's time once again for a postcard of the week. And this week, I want to reach into the history books and show you a postcard of a steam traction engine. This is one that was, in this case, being used on the plains, the Great Plains of South Dakota. We know that because of the cancellation on the back, and it was mailed to a friend in Illinois, not too far away. This is a steam traction engine, and by that I mean it's not a portable. It has the rear wheels where it would actually move if that's what you wanted. But in this case, we know that it is belted to probably a thrashing machine. You see the belt going down here just below the smokestack and on either side of the boiler. And we have here on the left is a water wagon, probably horse pulled. It would have to be, or it's not people out there pulling that water wagon. But the steam traction engine would need water and it would need fuel, either coal or wood. I think behind these two men we can see what seems to be a load of wood. So they're burning up wood to keep it going, and things are going well. You can see there's a plume of smoke coming out of the smokestack, and it must not be a hot day yet. There's no canopy or anything over the men, but they're out there in the sunshine or cloudy day, whatever. There were lots of companies that made these steam traction engines. J.I. Case from Racine, Wisconsin was one of them. Their logo was a bald eagle on sitting on top of a globe. So that oftentimes shows up on the front of the boiler of the firebox up there, and that would you'd know right away that's a Case engine. If it was a big bulldog's head looking out, then that's an Avery, Avery. Just all of these things that I learned about as a kid, following my dad, Harold Ottaway, Harold I. Ottaway, I'm Harold N. But my dad collected these giants of agriculture, and it was just an amazing hobby and something that he enjoyed doing with his brother in the 1950s. They started collecting these relics. Now, what they were doing was following on the footsteps of the big scrap drives that had happened during World War II. Many of these big engines were just sitting in a tree rows or behind the barn or just out in back, and they were scrapped, they were junked. But to some people who owned these engines, they loved them. They had wonderful memories of them and they wanted to protect them. They didn't want the scrap man to get them, or the junk man. They would refer to it like that. So when my dad would find out about one of these big steam engines, that somebody used to have it or something, he would knock on the door and talk to the man or the wife and get to visiting with them. And he explained that he was a collector of these. He liked to restore them, to run them. And they had a steam engine show here in Wichita in the 1950s. And it was just lots of memories. And so these men would oftentimes agree to sell the steam engine to my dad, and they would put them on a big flatbed truck and haul them back to Joyland here in Wichita and take them off and restore them and clean them and put in new flues if they needed it and all of that. This I'm not sure. If my dad was here, he could look at it right away and he could start telling me what size, how many horsepower this would have had, what kind it was. I'm just thinking from the shape of its smokestack, it might be a Port Huron, Huron, or it could be maybe well, I'm going to stick with the Port Huron and see if somebody else, one of my dad's friends, might be looking at this and say, well, old Hal got that one wrong. And if he did, he can correct me and we'll get back to you on a correction day sometime. But it's a great card. These steam engines, this was belted probably to a thrashing machine, like I said. They were also used on, they were could be belted to a sawmill. My dad had a sawmill at Joyland Park out in the picnic grounds, and he had a big Minneapolis tractor or a big Minneapolis steam traction engine powered the power to run this sawmill back and forth and cutting logs and so forth that they had cut down there at Joyland. But it's a great picture. It's just a great full image. It's what collectors like the best. It doesn't have a border. It's a full bleed to the edges of the postcard. It's postally used. I can't read the year date, maybe 1910. It's just in wonderful condition, has good contrast, you see, and it's the kind, I won't repeat myself, but I will. It's the kind that collectors and dealers appreciate and like best when they're sorting out cards and pricing them and getting them ready for a postcard show. But this is a wonderful piece of historical Americana here in the Great Plains, where we are here in Kansas. But just to our south, this was something that was up there and used for thrashing that summer. One thing, equipment like this is like farm equipment today that can be very, very expensive. And so rather than just be such a big shot and have this expensive item and use it for yourself only, quite often you would do your thrashing and then go to the next farm over closest to you and maybe arrange to thrash his wheat too and so forth. So one engine might have been used more than just for this one farmer or rancher. Hope you like this engine. I bought it uh, wanting to add it to my dad's collection of early farm implements like this is. So take care, and we'll see you next week for another postcard of the week. Bye bye.